Good day, everyone. Welcome to a video about modern warfare. So there's a lot of talk lately about World War III, trying to avoid World War III. Truth of the matter is, we are already in World War III, and it started with COVID. That's when the war started. So it's not a war. Well, I mean, there's wars going on where they're killing each other, there's bombs and, missiles and shit like that. But the war I'm talking about is not one of ammunition and weapons and stuff like that. There's weapons, but they're different types. Modern warfare goes on without anybody actually seeing it right in front of them. Okay, modern warfare consists of things like cyber attacks and more subtle things that you don't necessarily hear bombs blasting off around you, but doesn't mean there's not a war being fought. There is. There has been for quite some time. And, well, let's talk about another question here that's always coming up. Is it incompetence or malice? Because of the war that's being fought right now, it's almost always malice. It's not anything to do with incompetence. I mean, there's a lot of that too. Because let's face it, these people who want to take over the world are not the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. They're really not. But they like to have everything blamed on their incompetence. That gets them off the hook. Oh, we just screwed up. No. You meant to do that. Like a story I just saw talking about the COVID hotels in Canada during the COVID era, whatever. They were totally part of this war, these hotels. It's coming out that they were being used to infect people. Okay, they were quarantining people in these hotels. They had this bogus company, which looked like some division of the mafia is what it looked like to me. And they were quarantining people against their will, locking them up, barely feeding them, and people were getting sick. They were literally making you sick by putting you in there. And you didn't have COVID before you went to the hotel, but you had it shortly after you got there. Okay, and it was bogus, and it was a big funnel of money is what it was. It was a scam, but it's part of this war. Okay, they want to kill a whole bunch of people, as many as they possibly can. Oh, excuse me. So let's look at the two bridges that have been struck. Cyber attacks. There was one in Baltimore, was the first one, I think. It was a big, I think the first one was a container ship. Amazing, it lost power. And it just veered into the bridge and took the bridge out. Well, that's an attack on Baltimore, and that passageway for ships was a major, important passageway for shipping, like to get materials into the city and to other places too. That was a major passageway. So, as part of the war, they took the bridge out. The bridge landed in the water. I don't know how long it took them to... Actually, I don't even know if it's back to rights yet. I mean, when something like that happens, you're out of commission for a long time. Part of the war. Another one just a few days ago, I think it was in New York. It was a Mexican Navy ship. And that one makes even less sense. But just like the container ship, which lost power and then veered into the ship, this one apparently lost power, had a mast way too tall to fit underneath, had several masts too tall to fit underneath. It was one of those tall ships, they call them. couple of people died and everything. There was people on the masts as it hit the bridge. Also a cyber attack. I read a book years ago about the coming cyber attacks. Like, I read several things, but there was one, I've been racking my brains trying to remember the name of it. I can't. But it's about probably 12 years ago I read this, and it described the semantic web, Web 3.0, and when it said when this was really, going along, once they had it going, there was going to be planes dropping out of the sky, ships crashing into stuff, trains derailing, all cyber attacks. All of it because of cyber attacks. And it was going to be part of the coming war that was going to be fought with modern warfare. COVID itself is a bioweapon. So you can consider that part of the warfare. We are at war, folks. People don't understand it, but we're totally at war already. And you might as well call it World War III, because everybody in the world is involved in this. It's a globalist faction who have teamed up with China, big time. China is the biggest threat in the world, no matter what anyone thinks. China's got the lovely culture and great food and blah, blah, blah. And the people are great. It's not the people, it's the Chinese Communist Party. That's the problem. That's the most vicious regime on the face of the earth. And they want to run the world. They do not want to cooperate with anybody. When they say they do, they're full of shit. They want to dominate the world. And they wrote a big, thick manual on how they're going to destroy the Western world and take over the entire world. There's a guy named Joshua Phillips from Crossroads. He worked for Epic Times. And he did a lot of reporting on this. That China doesn't even hide the fact that they hate Western society, want to destroy it, and they even, like I say, this big, thick manual they wrote about how they're going to do it. There's 3 stages to it. And that's what's happening. It's war against the whole Western world, mainly, because for them to accomplish what they want, the West has to fall, especially America. Canada's already fallen. I mean, we're toast. We're toast here. We're absolutely toast. That's all I'll say. This is a frozen communist shithole is what we have here now. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Islamic threat. That's why the Muslims have teamed up with this same bunch of globalists. The globalists have decided that even though they don't necessarily like everything about the Muslims, they are the easiest ones to team up with because they want to do the same thing. Destroy the Western world. So we're literally at war with them too, but nobody knows it. Well, I shouldn't say nobody knows it. Most people don't. And most people don't want to mention it because, oh, you're a racist. No. Islam is not a race. I want to be very clear on this. I'm so sick of hearing, as soon as somebody mentions the threat of Islam, you're a racist. Well, that's really intelligent of you. Islam's not a race. Islam is a religion and an ideology. It is not a race, so it's impossible to be a racist because you're talking about Islam. That's ridiculous. There are white Muslims, black Muslims, brown Muslims. Anybody can be a Muslim. I could join Islam today. I could go to them and say, I want to worship Allah. They'd welcome me for sure. I can be a Muslim. I'm white. So it's not racism. That's very stupid when people say that. But they are also looking to destroy the Western world. And modern warfare, there's another side to it, social media, influencers and all this, social engineering. social engineering and propaganda is one of the biggest weapons they have. They have weather manipulation. They're totally manipulating the weather. They've destroyed regimes around the world by causing droughts in their country, starving the people. The Americans have been doing that a long time. They don't like a regime and they want to, put them on their knees. Cause a drought with weather manipulation. Before too long, there's no food. The people revolt and the regime's in big trouble. Modern warfare. No one even knows that was an attack. But it sure was. I mean, a drought and everybody dies. That's an attack. It's just a silent attack. Okay? Maui, they destroyed that with DEWs, directed energy weapons. Then more wildfires, tons of wildfires, directed energy weapons, and weather manipulation. There's always hurricane force winds when these fires start at the same time. So a fire starts and just happens that it's record winds that day. Every single place it happens. Modern warfare. So modern warfare hides its weaponry. And most people have no clue that they're even being attacked. So I will leave it there. That's long enough for this one. World War III is already underway, folks. And it's actually just starting to get really wild. It's going to get way worse, unfortunately.